Mic check 1 2. Hello and welcome everyone. Yes, everyone. To another episode of Dat Yst. So before I take you into this extravaganza, a couple quick things about the recent lull in activity from yours truly. First of all, my internet had been broken for some days, and I'm too scrubby to fix it, so there's plenty of days down the drain, maybe 4 or 5 lost like that. Another thing, your boy's been making moves IRL. I just today I exchanged a whole stack of $20 bills for 2 golden keys. Yes, that's right. I'll be moving into my own apartment this week. Got a sick spot right by the beach. Kick my heels up, enjoy the finer things in life. Good friends, good health, all that good stuff. So, that's what I've been doing. But tonight, I'm chilling with my boy ZR, and we're passing them tree branches. We're making some decks, and what I'm gonna show you is actually 4 games that he played today. He went from never playing this game, never ever playing it, to him buying some orbs and me buying some orbs, and making a top tier Magmar deck. He got everything except for 2 Vindicators, but and then he proceeds to win 12 games in a row. He went from never playing a game to 12 wins in a row, all the way to silver, 100% win rate. So we're about to see how that happens. Sorry for the long intro, I really apologize, but I gotta catch you guys up. I can't disappoint my fans, just coming and going like a rolling stone. Daddy wasn't there. Here we got Canada, also known as ZR. Got that hair of lettuce. He's got that corduroy jacket. And first thing I'd like to note is that ZR's Young Dodongo game is on point. It's on point. He opens with Young Dodongos every single game because his luck is perfect. He just wins 12 games in a row. This is going to be a quick tutorial on basically the trials and tribulations that a newer player faces, and not everybody can open a whole bunch of orbs, around 32, combination of his dollars, my dollars, but he just fished his wishes. Like, he opens an Archon, he opens all these other great things, and comes away with 0 spirit after making the whole deck. Kudos to ZR. He goes from being an unlikely candidate for perfect record of the year to living the dream. But that's enough of an intro. Here we are. This guy's played a Thorn Needler, which I don't recommend, but we're coming out of bronze ourselves, Team Canada, and shout out to Akira. If you ain't seen that movie, you don't know what you're doing, because there's a dude named Canada, and he's best friends with a dude named Tetsuo. There's a whole bunch of telekinetic deformations along the way. I highly recommend it. Also futuristic motorcycles, very cool. But back here, we're on that Young Dodongo grind. We're trading some resources with Choda. So the aim of this deck is to do some frenzy board clears any way you know how, with some tiger frenzies, and clear the way until you can drop your Archon spellbinders and your everybody's favorite Silithar Elder, aka Order Saul Buster Sword, aka Hydro Eggs, Hydro Wife. And here, this dude, does he not know about the furious tiger coming his way? Does he not know? Yo, it's somewhere. I swear, Dire Type Frenzy must have been stealth nerfed when it got buffed from 2 mana to 1, because it only buffs attack now. And I could have sworn that. Maybe I just suck, but I could have sworn it gave +1/+1. Maybe I'm completely wrong and I don't know anything as usual. So here we are having a Cho'Gath showdown, with our Cho'Gath having 8 more life points, 6 more life points. Math. Don't judge me, people. Alas, I'm just a social worker. I don't need math. I'm stronger than math. I rise above mathematics. Most of the time, anyways. So here, the option that I was thinking in my head was just an egg morph, get this guy off the table, but ZR proudly declares, "I have nothing to fear" from a 1/7, and proceeds to make the smarter play of dispelling and playing a dude. ZR already formulating his Magmar instincts, honing his skills in the grinder, throwing himself at ranked fearlessly. But you know he's still undefeated. Because nobody can handle it. Nobody can handle it. Let's just be honest. Nobody can handle it. And once again, we're the first week of the month, so we're at the very start of the season. So all of the opponents that he'll be playing, all the S rank and diamond clusters and golden chodes, we're all back in silver on week 1 here. We're all together, so he could run into chumps or he could run into pros. And you know, he goes to church, he sings for the load, and RNGesus comes down, touches him on his Magmar tummy and says, "Yes, my raptor, yes, I got you." So you know, of course he replaces what he doesn't need and draws an Archon Spellbinder, because let's just play Archon Spellbinder, that's fair. Let's just perfectly open one and buy another one and have every other single card. To people just getting into Duelyst, honestly, like, just net deck. Swallow your pride if you haven't already. Just swallow it way deep down. You know what I'm saying. Pride. Just forget about it. Just read the decks. Make the decks. Make just one at first. Love it and cradle it in your arms. Slash out with furious frenzied tiger beasts. And believe. You just gotta believe. ZR, I was helping him make this, and right out of the gate he said, I like me some Dodongos. And ever since then, they come to him, they flock to him almost. And it's beautiful. One criticism that's not a criticism ever, not really a criticism, but ZR, even though his Dodongo game is on point, his luck is immaculate. His strategic keep away game, that's really what I want to focus on. The keep away game is what could possibly use the most work, which of course he'll develop in time. And if you can win your first 12 ranked games, I think you can fill in the pieces along the way. He's a smart player. So right here, this guy thinks he's clever, but he's not clever enough to avoid a double Primus fisted book to the face. Takes him to the library. Oof. As I was saying, the skills that he will develop, I feel it, I believe, the skills he will develop will, once he gets Vindicators, by the time he's played enough games to get Vindicators and his keep away game is on point, he'll be protecting said Vindicators and hasting Archon Spellbinders, and he will have achieved the highest level. Trust me, I believe in that. Just as some background, I've known ZR since I was 4 years old. We met in kindergarten. We played Sonic Spinball, and we pretended to be Scooby-Doo. He was Shaggy, I was Scooby, and we've been friends ever since. It's great. Life's awesome when you have a strong, smart, awesome friend. Shoutouts to friends. Make some. Highly recommended. So here, this is probably the most uneventful of the 4 games that I'll be showcasing today, but spoilers, he's getting in there. Once again, with the turn 1 Dodungos, as you're about to see in several of these games, the Dodungo, his Dodungo magic is, he's gone in the caves, he's gotten the bomb bracelets, he's rolling around, and here, this guy thinks he's really cool. He goes all in on a Earthwalker, which if this could survive, it would slowly peter up to something acceptably strong, but the Earthwalker I don't like because it only grows for 1 compared to the Raffle Stomper, which I think is a 4-drop, whatever the hell it's called, that grows for 2/2 every turn. Or even everyone's favorite budget Gauntlet Demon, the Colossus, which is the 1/7 that grows for 4. I believe in that card, even though it's not really constructed playable. So here, ZR steals some bubbles, buffs this guy and punches in the face, and we were having a conversation behind the scenes about whether or not to fort, but we wisely decide to buff with the Primus Fist and leave the body behind. So right now, ZR is way up on the board. He's in those genetic experimental research labs. He's hover-biked his way into the future. And questionable natty select over here. I mean, sure you can do it, but this play was really funny because during the break while we were waiting for that horrible natty select, ZR was like, oh, I can triple fort my Primus Fist, and I was like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. I think this guy could have moved and attacked this. I'm not sure if he did move, but that might have been a misplay on his part. But here, he wisely replaces one of his 3 forts and lines up a Mechanical War Beast. Most likely everyone's favorite. It pleases, it teases, it's great. So another thing that this whirlwind tour of a series showcases is the mirror match, especially among novice Magmar players, and deciding when to go after your opponent's eggs or egg their creatures. And I think ZR comes out ahead of his opponents in most of these games, half the time by sheer luck, the other half by ingenuity and cunning, because here he gets his young Silithar back again. That's how much they love him. And this guy goes all in, he plays the dampening wave, which, okay, doesn't even kill this Primus Fist. Which is, to me, a waste because it does nothing about this 4/1 body that can now attack you on its turn. Who cares if it can't counterattack? It's going out in a blaze of blue-fisted energy glory. Oh my god, we're illegitimate, don't look. Okay, resuming the broadcast. F that little chode. Get him out of here. Get him, remove him from my sight. Oh, I think that this was a misplay here. Very minor detail, but giving the frenzy, no, not the frenzy was fine, but he should have attacked the egg with the Primus Fist and attacked the general with his Dodongo, because it's safe, unless he's got a rush creature, it's safe from being popped next turn, and he retains his body. It's not, I don't think it's critical, or it's possibly not even optimal, but is an option in a divergent path that was taken. There's a principle of social work. Oh, I'm going to drop some knowledge on you, some useful knowledge as this game goes. There's a principle of social work. It's called equifinality. You can't even spell check that word on your computer. It's not even there yet. It's in the future. What that word means is that in any open system, it doesn't matter if you have choices, your choices will all lead you to the same end result. So whether that be Yahweh or Duelyst or human interactions or whatever outcome, equifinality, we're getting there. ZR will sweep all challengers. You can go to school and learn that. Anyways, here we are. We have a choice between a War Beast and a Dancing Blades, and here I think there's another slightly suboptimal play. I mean, at this point, he's going to win. He's burying him in card advantage with huge creatures, but on this turn, a Dancing Blades would kill this Bloodshot Golem for free. Completely take it out without losing any health in the trade. Next turn, he has the cards in hand for a 6/6 Macantor War Beast with a 4/6 body to back it up. I think that would have been the more correct play, but as it stands, this guy is dead to rights. ZR's lined up another one. Most people, it's funny, he won out of these 12 consecutive 100% win rate bonanza extravaganza. Probably 3 or 4 people just sensed his Super Saiyan-ness and just quit. They knew that they were beat on the spot, but we're not going to bring you those games. We're going to bring you the games that go till the bitter end. At this point, this guy is dead to rights, so I'll share in next level new meta BM technique that ZR found out. He made it himself. New meta of BM, well beyond what your boy could even do. He takes his cursor and if you don't know in this game, you can see what cell or tile your opponent is looking at. If they hover over it, it appears as an eye. So what he does is ritualistically hover his cursor slowly on every cell around his opponent, as if to say, I see all of your possibilities. That's what's known in Pathfinder as a perception check. You roll it so that you don't walk into some place dark and scary, filled with goblins. Because goblins ain't good for you. Moving right along to match 3 of 4. We are back to the very, very eventful, high class, high style action that Dat Yst fans have come to know and love. We got our excellent feels going on. I'm chilling in the background, watching from afar, lurking. But you know that he's doing all the heavy lifting, he's doing all the thinking and learning. I had a Magmar deck before. I had top tier Magmar, not as good as this, but pretty good. Before the reset, I had 2 Vindicators on top of that. And I kind of lost that deck in translation, but it's okay because what I got in return was very strong. The 166 orbs were kind. So here we have another turn 1 friggin' little Dodongo. Because they won't abandon his side. They believe that he will lead all the Dodongos into the promised land. And speaking of the promised land, mic check real quick. Oh, it's on. Oof. Because I don't ever want to disappoint my fans again. Shoutouts to DM, the first fan. Shoutouts to ZR, my good friend IRL. Shoutouts to all the people who have shown me love recently. All 2 of you. You know who you are. The fans. My 3 fans are what keep me going. Pumping out some prime content for y'all. And here we start the game with a Dodongo showdown. Pow. So this matchup, once again, we're in the mirror, and we're gonna see who's got the better rebirth mechanic utilization, who can capitalize on the subtle timing windows that the rebirth mechanic affords. So here the option for everyone's favorite hero, ZR, was to either drop the veteran someplace beefy, which he chooses, or just throw out a couple extra bodies, and our boy goes with the beef. Smuda Chris. Shoutouts to that name. Shoutouts to Luda, Chris Bridges. Don't even lie to yourself. Luda made the jams back in the year 2000 something. I was listening to Word of Mouth on my CD player. So I'll repeat, bumping that Word of Mouth. So here we see the first casualty of the egg wars. An egg morph consumes Smuda Chris's entire turn. But what he doesn't know, and he's about to find out, when it comes to the egg war, you don't tussle with the Dodongo's choice. Interesting to note here, one thing that could be better about ZR's fledgling plays is that he likes to take the mana tiles with his own body instead of finding out the most optimal way to play minion snake and take those tiles with, a combination of more central movement, but getting the minions out there while still denying. I like the general in the center. This way you don't get pinned into the wall, and this way he cannot kill your minion and position for a better board state and control the central region. So even that slight maneuver upward, might have really, if this game were closer, have come back to haunt him. But you can't haunt the Dodongo play. You must be kidding me. This man has not the means or the skill to kill any of these Dodongos with his current board state. He's got 5 cards in his hand, though, which is very dangerous. Very dangerous. And everyone, the people's champion, Zach Ross, child of light and goodness, and chosen by the Lord and the Son and all those other holy religious themes. This man thinks he's clever. He thinks he can play his own. angry tiger combo and get in there with a sacrificial tiger, but he only gets one egg in the process. And as you'll notice, as a result of destroying and egging this Silithar on his turn, he now has to do it all over again. Because the key, boys and girls, is to not present the egg to your opponent. You want them to egg your creature on their turn. This way you get it back at the end of your turn and life is great. Or even earlier with an egg morph if you're desperate to reclaim a Silithar Elder egg. People, they just see this gorgeous little egg and they think, let's make some breakfast. Let's get some alien versus predator technology from those xenomorphs and get that awesome hard removal for 4 mana. But what they don't also see is that there is another line of text. It can hatch an egg. It can get you out of a sticky situation. And here, failing a more optimal replace, the play du jour is to trade down 4 mana for a young Dodongo and reset the board state. Once again, because he's got some fresh young Silithars, live and hot and ready for action. A Macantor Warbeast here only gets one of them, so that play is not even too dangerous. But here's where it gets tricky, I was gonna say ladies and gentlemen, and I realized, no, I am correct. Lady and gentlemen. Shoutouts to DM, you know who you are. Repping it, keeping the channel going strong. Calling me out on my Mogwai lies. Okay, yes, I did want that Mogwai from a previous episode, but anyways, back to the matter at hand. You know nothing about me here. Let's see. We have a 7/9 Archon Spellbinder. Your boy gets out Archoned. And for a moment, things are looking grim. Because a couple stray punches, and a couple lectures from the book, and this game's gonna go the wrong way. ZR comes across what's most likely the most optimal line of play, short of replacing the fort and trying to get an egg morph. That probably would have been the best. Short of that play, the best is just to go face with an angry beast and try and body block with an invincible wall of Silithars sacrificing themselves for their chosen master. This Cho'Gath Mafk, you know. And here, this Archon's caught between a Urok and a Dodongo place. These ain't those peaceful Gorons neither. These are those real mountainous Dodongos. They don't play well with others, to say the least. And Smoothicris knows that. He's been plagued all game. Because despite his best efforts, he ain't getting nowhere. I said nowhere. He once again wastes some otherwise tasty removal in a slightly strange way. And of course, when life gives you suboptimal frenzy status, you have to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. When he gives you the perfect, he should have just moved up and said, here, take me, I'm yours. Look at this positioning. The way that you're supposed to play around frenzy is you play on straight diagonal. You lose 2 things at most and you call it a day. You don't lose all 3 things and cry yourself to sleep because you did so. Don't do that, children. Because right here, we got some spin to win tactics. Look at that, beautiful. This lives. This egg gets removed from the situation. And this pristine little Archon sets off for another library in the sky. Shoutouts to Tsubaki Yayoi. If you don't know about her, read about her. She reads from a book and becomes less mediocre. Truly inspiring for all the little children. Stay in school, kids. It's rough out there. So here we're playing the value game, everybody's favorite. Because dancing blades into dancing blades. Wow. And you could tell which way they're facing. Don't forget to face them in the right way. Because your boy, Nicholas, I like to tell this anecdote. My first 3 dancing blades ever, I scissored my own people and critically lost. And I did it 3 games in a row, 3 times in a row, so shh. Don't say nothing. Just learn. Learn as much as you can at all times. And here we see everyone's favorite game of hide the Buster Sword. ZR's elder play dramatically increased over the time that he's been playing these 12 games. Because at first, he made everybody's baby's first elder mistake, everyone's first mistake, which is you put it where it's out of range, but then you lose the 50-50 spawn, and your egg goes away, and you think to yourself, but what if I had just played it back 1 tile and guaranteed my next one is safe? And started spiraling the game out of control. But you must ask yourself these questions, child. And here, this guy gets a natty select. This is actually a beautiful play, but it does nothing to address the real threat lurking far away. And here, somehow, the luck is ridiculous. What is the luck? Where he needed this tiger, and he gets the tiger he needs for the dire tiger frenzy spine. Oh boy. So here he summons it, and I go, no! And we all make a stony face palm because if he had moved his elder up, or even his general to right here, it's probably best to save the elder far away, but if he had moved his general up here, played the tiger here, ran it down here, and then frenzied, he would have also hit this general for 5, so lesson learned. But as it stands, he's got an elder, he's got a tiger, he's got twin fangs mounting up ever higher. He's been rocking this 1 copy of Twin Fang since the start, and boy, does it do things for him. Shoutouts to the luck. It's real. So at this point, I think he's surpassed my personal best streak on the ranked, which is 9 in a row. I think he's at around 10 by this point, and the last game, it's a doozy. We're coming in hot versus Copter Guy. Copter Guy. Everyone's favorite ZR gets to work replacing his highest drops. And of course, as with every single game ever, he's got, oh my god, the multiple Dodongo opening, the double veteran. He blew the whistle. They all came running. And I want everyone to savor this game with us, because we relished it. We put the sauerkraut on top, the chili cheese, you know. What's remarkable about this game, just look at the curve. There's a straight curve just through the entire game. Your boy wants for nothing. He drinks from the chalice of RNG. And he says, "Lord, I submit myself to thee, to Dodongo as you see fit." And that's really quite profound. And here, this play takes some time because he's got so many options for how he wants to hit this girl in the teeth. But instead of challenging her head on, he opts for a beautiful Dodongo Finicetto. If you look high, you will encounter Dodongos. If you look low, you will encounter young Silithars. No matter where you look, you can't escape them. Tonight I watched in amazement as 12 straight wins passed before my eye from a player who had never played on the rank ladder before. Or maybe he had played 1 or 2 games. But that was way before the new meta, the patch change, the orb buying, all the beautiful construction, and the Magmar excellence. So here, he's got a delicious setup. He's got the board state, and this is probably the only time you're ever gonna see Ma do something cool. And by something cool, I mean still draws a card, so whatever. And not only is this guy playing suboptimal Maws, he's playing terribly nerfed Night Sorrow Assassin, which this card got double nerfed. It went from being a staple 3-1, destroy enemy minion with 3 or less attack, to being poop tier, double poop, 2-1, destroy minion with 2 or less attack. So really, I consider this card unplayable. Why you don't just play Saber Spine Tiger, I don't know. This card is just, it rose, it fell, but we learned something. And here, I'm yelling in the background, fight, 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 because I want to see little wolves fight little dinosaurs, but that's my fault. Don't listen to me, please. You're on a huge win streak. He could have just followed his instinct, come up here and punch that in the gut. But instead, he makes a really good play here. He body blocks and saves his young Silithar from being picked off by a combination of these 2 forces. So, kudos, baby. So, we go for the straight curve from young Silithar into shitload of bubbles, into 4-drop, into veteran and frenzy this guy, into Archon Spellbinder, into Silithar Elder, the straight curve from 2 mana to 7. And if you don't know about it, You better understand. You gotta learn. Please, please. Educate yourself. Stay wise and civilized. Instead of dusted, busted, and disgusted when you can't be trusted. But don't ask me where I learned to speak such words. Because it's a secret. So, with the next few turns locked into place, getting rid of the Mystic is a great idea. And he gets a little bit of a tiger lovin'. You know how that works out, right? Right? And he has the decision to make because he has no... Well, he formerly had no rush creature before drawing this, so he couldn't really get off good frenzy, but of course he fishes his wish, puts the perfect curve on hold, although it's still perfect. Let's not even kid ourselves here. Of course he gets the board wipe. He comes in, and here he learns the lesson and does not attack and lose this little Silithar, because this is, if you've ever played StarCraft 1 or 2 or a billion, if your micro is good and you can pull one Zergling out of the fight, that Zergling will heal itself, much like the young Silithars, and eventually that Zergling could tip the scales in a future encounter, give you critical mass, and snowball the game. So remember that every single Zergling counts, boys and girls, when you're planning an interplanetary invasion, flying through space and taking over every sentient race in your path. Shoutouts to the Zerg. But here's when the game gets serious, and here's where we kick it up a notch in how excellent this game is. The Shadow Watcher presents a problem. In my opinion, his opponent critically misplays this Shadow Watcher. Horribly so. Horrendously so. And if you give your boy any space, you better believe he's coming for you. So here, there's a lot of considerations, right? It's not easy. Put yourself in his place, because this Archon, it's gotta come down. But a trade here and a trade there puts this down to 7 and this up to an 8-8. Another trade here puts it up to a 10-10. So this would survive comfortably. Empty this board state, clear it, and then by running up and punching this general, you would get 2 more Wraithlings, giving him an additional... Oh, excuse me, your boy is really bad and his math is terrible, because Death Watch on this is only +1-1. I thought it was +2-2. Thus altering the math greatly, but let's see if we can trade this off straight up. So we get it down to 7, we get it down to 5, and yes, it still trades off, but he loses his Watcher in the process. So instead of doing that, our opponent makes a smart play and plays a game of peekaboo. And from here, the real core of this showdown evolves and rears its ugly head. On one side, we have an Archon Spellbinder reading from the tomes of history. On the other side, we have a Rogue Shadow Watcher prepped to grow ever stronger through a combination of forces. In hand, we have that perfect curve into the Silithar Elder. Here, ZR is thinking about if he could only scoot his boot, get a little closer, and scissor his timbers. Teamwork makes the dream work, but instead, sometimes you just gotta jam that elder. And here, I'm furiously screaming in the background, run, run, run away. Don't play his game. Play your game, right? Because his game is, just hang around the middle, and he kamikazes a dickload, an absolute dickload of wraithlings, a metric dickload of wraithlings. And this gets big enough to where it spirals out of control. And the wraithlings can disrupt these eggs very easily. It would be a total nightmare. But as you know, that's not how this game is gonna go. The Copter guy plays a 6 mana Dark Transformation, removing this threat at the source. And here we see a beautiful, wow, the luck here. The 6 mana transformation to position the Wraithling, get rid of the egg, and spawn the, the maw to, oh my god. What was looking like an easy game of hide the elder turned into a vexing game of pressure the Shadow Watcher. But here, if you notice something about the board state, it's filled with minions with 3 attack or less. I wonder what we could do with that. Sit on that thought for a while, young ones. Meditate upon the possibilities, the endless variability of card drawing and replacing and RNG and positioning, the confluence of forces that makes Duelyst a fascinating game to both play and watch. Thus is the font of our enjoyment. Enjoy it, so. And here, once again, to venture forth would be sheer madness, but there really, in my opinion, there is no right play at this juncture. There is no right play. And here, in a uncharacteristically frustrated or nonchalant move, a Dancing Blades chooses, or maybe a strategic and tactful move. Dancing Blades kills nothing and denies the Shadow Watcher. Let's tell ourselves that that's what happened. Here, the White Widow does something. I mean, it's not where you want to be in this deck. Vorpal Reavers is where he wants to be. Shadow Dancer, because let's be honest, if he had a Blood Moon Priestess right now, and he could sacrifice all these guys, make another 6 Wraithlings, next turn play a Shadow Dancer to drain and gain for all the infinite Wraithlings he's making, that would be insurmountable for just an Archon and other thing to get through. But as you know, we couldn't finish this series without another feat of excellence. The optimal 9 mana play. You know, sometimes when you're facing down a big scary dude, The correct answer is run away until you find the answer. And throughout this match, I was making Stony Tony suggestions in the background, saying, run, fish for ephemeral shroud, show this dude what's up. And ZR fishes for something better. Here we see the dream play. He gets rid of his biggest threat, and he's able to play this board wipe. Not only does it get everything, including the newly egged 10-10 threat, but previously, if he didn't have the egg morph and he wiped the board, this minion would grow by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a billion, and it would be easily able to poke down this Archon while living and providing massive pressure on ZR's life points. But as you know, you can't hang with the champ. And it's almost good that Copter Guy never got to capitalize on these 2 horns, which normally would give you the fuel in a Swarm deck for explosive plays, the kind of explosive plays that you need to win, but with only 2 cards in hand and receiving a crushing total board wipe backed by an Archon Spellbinder, everyone's favorite, the hero of the people, goes from rank 30 to silver in the course of a couple hours, and I scratch my head. I cannot even believe it. The luck is real. I dedicate this episode to the overwhelming and excellent power of friendship. Teamwork makes the dream work. If you don't know about that, I'll be your friend. Just comment on my videos and I'll say thank you for the inspiration. But in all seriousness, we had these matches to show how dedication, hard work, and luck equals the American dream. If you don't know about it, well, here we go. Just a quick showing you of the deck, the big threats that stand out. He starts off with the War Beast. He makes the Elders. He makes the Spellbinders. He unlocks Plasma Storm right before the game, where he uses it to wipe everything. He gets young Dodongos every single opening game for every match ever. What is that? You tell me. But we've seen the rise of a promising young player. I could not be prouder. I feel like I witnessed an excellent miracle today. 100% win rate in his pocket, just about damn near, maybe like a 90% win rate. And that will conclude another special guest commentary episode of Dat Yst.